All right, everybody. It is, let's see here. It's Thursday night. It is Thursday night. It is about 9:40. So here we are talking. We got a lot to talk about. We have obviously the chance for storms going into the weekend, which we'll touch on that, and then the chance for some wintry weather as well. I'm going to talk first about the cold that's coming in late next week, and then we'll go into the chance for storms coming in for the weekend. So by now, well, maybe I shouldn't assume, but if you've been watching our weather forecast on KOC, we've been talking about cold air coming in for about a week now, saying that like Thanksgiving was going to be the time frame to watch for some type of cold air mass coming in. So what you're looking at right here, this is the departure from normal map. So the way you look at it is blue is colder than normal, orange and red will be your warmer than normal temperature. So this is for Saturday. Saturday looks pretty nice. Otherwise, we get some cold air that kind of develops and spills out of Canada behind this system that moves out of here as we go into Tuesday afternoon. And then what I see happening as we go in towards like Thanksgiving or so will be a little uptick in temperatures. But I want you to look up and towards Canada here. You see all this purple and all of this pink? That would be temperatures that are going to be running about 20 to 30 degrees below average. And all of a sudden, look how that just like quickly drops down into the plains, comes into Kansas by Friday afternoon, and then it's into Oklahoma as we go into Saturday. So there's definitely been a lot of talk about some much colder air that will be moving in. Now let me go ahead and zoom in here and show you what kind of temperatures that we are looking at as of right now with the data that we have coming in. I mean, look at this. Temperatures, they are well below average. So this would be for Saturday afternoon. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Temperatures, these are air temps, not wind chills, in the mid-20s. And we're staying in the mid-20s as we go into the afternoon. And then we go in the Sunday afternoon, and temperatures get up to around 30 degrees. Given this data right here, this would say that we are looking at about 24 to 48 hours, so 1 to 2 days, where temperatures are at or below freezing. So given the GFS model run here, that would say air temps are plenty cold. Now let me show you the precip that we have coming in here. Because, here, let me go ahead and do precip type. That's easier. So this would say going into Saturday night, the orange is sleet, the pink is freezing rain, and then the blue here would be snow. So this says going into the weekend after Thanksgiving, we get some wintry weather in here. This is the GFS model, but while temperatures are cold, you know, the amount of precip doesn't appear to be all that heavy. Still, though, could be dealing with a little bit of ice. So the GFS model says, okay, next weekend, the air is cold enough for there to be ice. The Euro model, and by the way, for anyone that follows the Euro model, they had a big power outage today over at where this computer information is housed. So it came in like 6 hours late. So I don't know how accurate this information is coming in. I'm going to have to wait for another run to come in, because typically when you have a power outage, some things can kind of get omitted. But this says that for Saturday, it's not ice. Instead, temperatures are in the 50s and 40s, and the colder air doesn't come in until Sunday. So bottom line, we have the threat for some ice going into next week. It's not a great chance. I only have a 20% chance in there. Wintry weather, rain, snow mix. Just know that there will be some changes going into next week. So that's, again, next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but that would be next Saturday. So bottom line is that there's a lot of time to go. But I wanted to kind of just put that on y'all's radar, because I know going into next week, a lot of us, we have family coming into town, or we're going out of town, or it just gets really overwhelming. And sometimes I feel like we kind of just stop paying attention to the weather. But please do not stop paying attention to the weather, because there will be a lot of changes. Okay, now let's go over the risk for severe weather that we have. So this one kind of caught me off guard a little bit, I'll admit. when I woke up this morning and saw that Storm Prediction Center had put out a slight risk for severe weather for this Sunday for central Oklahoma, including the metro. I know we have storms in here. We don't have a lot of surface instability. Now, we have a ton of shear up in the atmosphere. So you'll have a lot of moving around, a lot of rotation way up high with these storms. I'm not quite sure, though, how much of that's going to transition down to the ground. So this is for Sunday. And we just got a brand new data drop. Now, thanks to changing our clocks a couple weekends ago, this model comes in about an hour earlier. But you'll notice we have some instability. It's not very high, though, as we go into Sunday afternoon. It's still out there lingering as we go into Monday, but it's a real narrow corridor. So it's not that, it's not that well pronounced. And let me look at the latest timeline here. I don't see a ton of severe storms going up, but the storms that do try to develop could be some hailers. So early Sunday morning, that shows some stuff coming in here, and then some redevelopment as we go into late Sunday, down to the south, and then that moves to the east. So as of right now, this is my zone. I might have to change this a bit. We'll see. Oops. But there is a chance for some hail as we go into Sunday afternoon. Let me check out the latest tornado outlook that we have here. See how things are looking from a tornado standpoint. Again, there's not a lot of surface instability, so it's hard to get anything to really come down to the ground. So yeah, we'll see. It's a low end severe weather threat as we see going into the weekend. So that's for Sunday. Other than that, the weather, let me go ahead and pop this up here. Actually, I'll pop this up first. The weather going into next week. So we have a chance for thunderstorms, low risk for severe weather on Sunday. Monday, the storm system moves out of here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, better travel weather, by the way. Like if you're traveling any of those days, things look all right for travel there. Thanksgiving, colder air moves in late, and then after Thanksgiving, cold and another storm. So averaging out all the weather data that we have coming in right now, by the way, here's how much rain we are looking at. So Oklahoma City, this comes in, so this would be for Sunday and Monday, looking at about a ½ inch of rain. That's about 1 inch out across northern Oklahoma, western Oklahoma, about a quarter to a ½ inch. So I have this at an 80% chance for Sunday, and then wrapping up Monday, 60% chance. As far as temperatures go, this Saturday looks all right. If you are making plans for next week, again, I expect that next week's going to be very volatile. Not in the sense of big time storms, but just things that are changing. So anytime you go into one of these transition weeks, these can be really difficult to kind of target as far as, for example, how fast the rain wants to move out. If you're trying to figure is it in the morning or in the afternoon, we'll have to wait as we get closer to that. And then as far as, again, wintry weather going into late next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, these will be the days to watch going into Sunday. Usually the first chance for wintry weather that we get, like in November, the air has to be super duper cold in order for things to really stick pretty quickly. So that's what we're going to be watching, again, as we go into next week, is the depth of this cold air coming in here. So bottom line, next week's a busy week. We have a storm system on the front end and a storm system there on the back end. And the weather looks pretty good in between, which, again, for travel, that's not too bad. Okay, anyways, I'm going to go over some of the new data here. I'm going to see if I need to make any adjustments going into either this week again. I don't think the risk for severe weather is too terribly high, going into Sunday. This isn't like a spring event. Moisture is going to be lacking at the surface. There's a lot of shear in the atmosphere, but there's not a lot of surface instability. And otherwise, watching again what type of lift we can get behind this cold air going into the next week. And right now, the chance for any type of winter weather remains low. So we're going to watch it closely. And otherwise, we'll have an update in just a few minutes. All right, hey, much love to you all. Again, I know things are getting busy in the next week or so. So if I don't have the opportunity to talk to you between now and, say, Thanksgiving, just know that I appreciate you all, everything that you all do. And I appreciate you all coming in here. And much love to you all. And have a wonderful holiday if I don't talk to you between now and going into Thanksgiving. All right, y'all. Have a good night.